We are going live. Welcome, everyone, to our Success Mastermind for Monday, the 19th of October, 2020. John Lavenia here with you and a bunch of you. We were just hearing from Adrian, one of our friends named Adrian here in the group, about success with his Amazon business. Adrian, we are going to be covering that. In fact, everyone, we're going to be covering some stuff with special guest hosts today on our e-commerce workshop, which is going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, 8 p.m. in the UK. So for any of our full-blown members, you have access to that, of course. Jane and Neil are going to be hosting that in Stuart's stead. Let me see if do I have my camera all set up here, right, guys? You know, I'm just getting back from Salt Lake City, and I am back in my natural habitat. Here we go. What else do we have cooking today? We've got some good stuff. So not only do we have e-commerce work group with special guests Neil and Jane hosting in Stuart's stead because he is traveling, we also have our book study at 9 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, which I know all of our British friends love that time slot. Little secret, bird whispered in my ear, next month there's going to be a second book study, and it's going to be for the UK time zones. So, and I'm not hosting that, by the way. We've got another host that's going to be joining our group of facilitators. But let me see who we've got here right now in our room. I see Evelyn, of course, Adrian G and Adrian J. In fact, on my screen, they're sitting right next to each other. They're on different sides of the planet. Good to see John and Ali. Dupe, welcome. We've got Mary, Janet, Bill, Ali, good to see you. There's usually two of you, Ali. There's like one that's a camera and there's one that's not a camera. Mandy, Joe, Nikki, Habiba's here. The triumphant return of Habiba Miller. She's back. Where has she been? Kathy, good to see you. Kathy's back too. Kathy, I haven't seen you in so long. Mark, of course, Ingrid's got her steering wheel camera rocking over there. Joe and Gina, good to see Jane and Neil. Caroline, Robin, Nicola, Khalid, and Coral. Good to see you, Khalid. Welcome to the group. Brand new member there. Good to see you all. Hey, you know what I wanted to talk about today, and I wanted to get your opinions on this, which is why we mastermind in the first place. If I just wanted to hear myself talk, that's what I would do. But this is something that I was reminded of just today. As my wife had to fly back to Salt Lake City. Many of you know, I think everyone here who is a member certainly knows Shannon. She runs our brand builder events every other Thursday, where she talks about branding, setting yourself up above the fold, above the fray, if you will, in terms of standing out and apart, right? And making a bit of a unique brand for yourself. And there's various ways to do that. It's a big topic. But she had to fly back to Salt Lake City today. She's got a consulting client up there. And we had birthday time with my daughter there last week. So we all flew up. But this time she just flew up for a few days on her own. But you know what she's doing later this week? Some of you know. I think Ego knows. Evelyn, you may know. And that is she's going in for major surgery. So for those of you who don't know, she went through 9 months of cancer treatments, chemotherapy, double mastectomy, radiation, the whole show, like the whole show. And so she's going in for reconstruction, and it's a big deal. And, not that we're not here to talk about, surgery, but what we are here to talk about, something we can use, is something that I take for granted too much. And that is how much time I've got on this rock that we're flying around on right now. My goodness, can I piss away time? Like, I'm just immortal. I'm immortal, man. Like, I've got tomorrow, guaranteed I've got tomorrow. Oh yeah? Is that right? Guaranteed. And the thing that came up for me, why my wife reminded me of this, she wasn't even trying to, but I was asking her about some of the stuff that she's doing in terms of her branding, her marketing, right? Obviously, branding is one side of business. Marketing is a different proposition altogether. And she has become bold and emboldened and vocal, and she outflows a lot of content, a lot of communication. And that's something I know I could do more of. Now, granted, it's not like I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs watching the grass grow. I am busy as hell. But as I've admitted several times in these talks, that's one thing where I could definitely assign more priority, promotion, right? causing more fresh eyeballs to come onto my products, services, businesses, whatever we're doing, right? Because you got to be expanding. You're either growing or you're dying, right? It's like a tree, right? You got the acorn and it grows and it's a big tree. Now it's 100 years later or whatever it is, and then it decays and it falls over and it turns into dirt, and here comes a new tree, right? So we're either expanding or we're retracting, we're creating or we're disintegrating. And so I look at that in various areas of my life. What's the Emile Coué affirmation that many of us have picked up on and we really like? In fact, we read it in Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill reminded us of that. Every day in every way, I get better and better. Okay, well, is that the case? Every day in every way, I get better and better? Really? Is that the truth? Well, we can make that the truth, and we can do that in little ways. Like, for example, let's say that I've practiced avoidance in the area of exercise. That's an easy one to look at because we can actually look at it, right? Can you just go ahead and hit the deck right now and do 10 push-ups? You can. Would that qualify as, in at least one way, that you're getting better today? Because today's a day, right? Every day in every way. Okay, well, that's one way, and today's a day. So let me go ahead and do that. And now that's a true statement. And then what's one other thing I could do? I woke up today with the title, a few subject lines for an email, a promotional email. Praise the universe. John is going to do some promotion. Call the friggin' press. Okay, so I got this idea for an email, and that's the best time. As soon as you wake up, you get these ideas, write them down. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You got the idea, write it down. The conversation I walked in on just before we went live, Adrian Jackson was talking about kind of winging it. At least this is a little bit of it that I heard Adrian kind of winging it in unorthodox ways. I got a hunch. I got an idea. Well, we'll do it, right? Back to our original point, because if not now, then when? Are you immortal? I'm not talking about your body, right? The body's going to die, okay? But you as a being, yes, we could say you're immortal, right? And we can have lofty conversations about that. But in terms of your ability as Adrian or John or Evelyn or Shannon, as that person, how much time do you have? Well, I don't know. So I asked Shannon about this. I was like, well, I've noticed that you've really taken the brakes off with some of the stuff that you've been doing. It's not like it's new stuff and you just discovered this new world of, doing stuff, but you're like much more prolific. You're much more prolific now. And you don't seem to have too many filters. She's like, yeah, after going through cancer treatments, I don't give a shit what people think. Oh, we got a child in the room. Sorry, Bill. Okay. I see you, sweetie. Okay. I mispronounced it anyway, because you guys are in Ireland. You say I instead of I. But like the filters are off, the brakes are off, so to speak. Why? Because she could have been dead. How many people don't survive that? Fortunate for us, here we are in a developed country. We are, in our case, Phoenix, Arizona. It's oncology central. I mean, if you've got cancer, come to Phoenix, right? I mean, this is like cancer doctor on every street corner. Big deal. I don't know why, by the way, that is. It's not like it's all skin cancer or something. You would think with the amount of sun we have, everybody's got skin cancer. No, we got a lot of moles. My doctor told me last time I went in for my physical and blood work and everything, he said, you need more vitamin D. You're a little bit low on vitamin D. I'm like, okay, I'll get some more sun. So no, we tend to stay in, especially in the summer. But how fortunate for us. Back to the original point. Does it always work? Is that a guarantee? 100% of the time, you're going to be cancer-free? And again, you may not relate to this particular disease or the life-threatening nature of it. But my goodness, we're all going through this whole 2020. My goodness, 2020 with COVID, whether that's affected you or your family or not. I know some people are like, wow, this is a huge deal. Other people, admittedly, like myself, I haven't seen anything of note, right? And maybe that's because, yeah, we do eat right and exercise and all this stuff. We take care of our bodies. I'm only 50 years old, right? My mother's in her 70s, right? She's more cautious. But for the most part, I mean, my goodness, our president got it and kicked it in 2 days and business as usual. And of course, mass media and the press will politicize everything. This guy can't do anything right. No matter what problem is in the world, blame him. But you get the point, is that there are things that could take us out. Okay. And these are things that I'm just mentioning one idea of cancer, another idea of COVID. How about I mean, I don't know, earthquake, plane lands on your house. Did you guys see that explosion that happened in, this is what, a month ago or whatever? Was it in Beirut? Right. So they're storing all these, I don't remember the exact name of the chemical, but somehow it ignited and boom, it took out like a mile, 1 mile radius, thousands of people dead, injured, buildings destroyed. So you got tomorrow guaranteed? Is that what you got? Now, it doesn't mean we can't take precautions and avoid avoidable mistakes. Of course we can. But do we spend our whole time? Here's the question that I had to ask myself today, and I want to hear from you guys. Do I spend most of my time playing to not lose instead of playing to win? There's the question. Yes, there's caution. Be careful. I'm always telling my daughter, she has her kids, their friends over, and they're running around and like lunatics. And I said, no injuries. That's the one major rule of all rules. No injuries. Okay. So have fun, but at the same time, don't destroy yourself. So be prudent, right? Prudent means thinking of the future, right? We're preparing for the future. We're thinking prudently, right? We're not smashing our head through walls and leaping over tall buildings in a single bound, right? We're being a bit more prudent. I don't know if I use that word with them. They don't know that word. It'd probably be a good word to teach them. My girl's going to have so much vocabulary by the time she's old enough for college, assuming she even wants to go, if she has a reason to. Yeah, I see her giving me a thumbs up from the other room. She's going to have more vocabulary than most of the professors. But anyway, because we're into the words around here. We like the meaning of words. So no injuries. All right. So does that mean that the entire experience of play or work, which is what you do, right? Which is what on purpose action, we can also consider that play, but are you playing to not lose instead of playing to win? Can we find a balance there? Yes, be prudent, but at the same time, hit that throttle. Competence and speed go together. We've talked about this before. I use the example of drag racing, right? You don't go 300 miles an hour in a top fuel dragster without being outrageously competent at driving that piece of machine that will kill you. It will. It wants to, right? But these are the most competent and fastest drivers in the world. So competence and speed go together. And have I been, and I'm just taking inventory, looking at myself, a little bit of self-assessment here, have I been overly cautious? One of the things Napoleon Hill talked about in Think and Grow Rich, which of course the book we're studying, we're on what chapter is it? 6 tonight, I think we're on chapter 6. Check the calendar, you'll see. But one of the things he talked about, which is just as much of a fault as being reckless, is being overcautious. In other words, not accepting opportunities when they're banging your door down. I've done that at times. And we can all take a look in terms of, like, again, I'm thinking of Adrian because he was vocal just before we went live. I'm thinking of e-commerce, right? And something called risk tolerance, right? So risk tolerance. Let's say I invest in this product. I'm going to offer this product into the public, into the marketplace. I'm going to invest in this product, and I'm then going to put it out for the purpose of profit. Okay, so we just defined entrepreneurship, by the way. It's one who assumes greater than usual risk for the purpose of growing a business and profit. That's what an entrepreneur is. Okay, so to what degree am I willing to play to win? Because if you're not in the game, right, you got to be in it to win it. So to what degree am I willing to play to win? Yes, be prudent, not bet the whole farm on this one product, which some people do, by the way. But am I willing to take calculated risks, not chance, not rolling the dice, okay, but calculated risks, knowing that there could be some delayed or deferred gratification. There could be a windfall. There could be a total bust. Who knows, right? We win, we lose. Can't win them all. Can't lose them all either. But you got to be in it to win it. What did Wayne say in our Metaphors for Success not yesterday, which I just published, just posted that recording, by the way. Metaphors for Success from last night is posted. Thank you, Wayne. But a week ago, he was talking about the great Wayne Gretzky, the hockey player, who said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So take the shot. I guess that's our topic for today, playing to win versus playing to not lose. And how much time do you have? Yes, be prudent, but at the same time, my goodness, do something. And in some ways, I'm preaching to the choir. I know this is an on-purpose conversation for on-purpose people. I might go out into, you know what? I could actually do this as a social experiment. We can go out onto the interwebs like Facebook, for example, and talk to people about what new thing have they taken up, what new business, hobby, something have they taken up now that they realize that maybe they had a friend die of COVID or something, or with COVID. I don't know, at this point, it's like 94% of people die with it, not from it. I don't know. I'm not the doctor guy. I'm wondering about some of the doctor guys who are doctor guys. But anyway, so what have you taken up? Well, no, we're just waiting to see. I know we got a stimulus check coming, or I hope we do. Really? Is that it? You're waiting for somebody else to do something? Is that what you're doing? Because you've got tomorrow, you've got next week, you've got the whole. I mean, 2021 will be better, right? We just got to get through this year. Oh, you're guaranteed 2021 as well, right? You got that guarantee. Oh man. See, these are the questions I ask myself. So if I, and not to get dark or to induce excessive urgency, but if I died at the end of this year, like if this is it, I'm going to see 2021, what would I do? What would I do? And I know I've been to many motivational speeches where we talk about the legacy, or the motivator is talking about, leaving a legacy and acting as if, this was your final 30 days to get it done. Like, that's it. What are they going to write on your gravestone? Okay, that's pretty heavy duty. But again, the point is, I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. So what can I do right now? Bolder, stronger, faster, more competently, and more confidently, rather than being, what did Earl Nightingale refer to it as? The strangest secret. You guys, many of you have heard that recording. I've heard it at least 1,000 times. He said, the timid creatures of the lagoon who never venture into the broad ocean, right? The timid creatures of the lagoon, the little minnows and little crabs and crawfish and stuff, right? There's the ocean. Do it or not. What do you guys think? Playing to win versus playing to not lose. Adrian Jackson has the floor, and then any other hands that go up, we will take them in order. Adrian, hello.
Hi, everybody. I agree 100% with John. You play to win all the time, and when you hit a bump, and a lot of people think, oh, I've lost now. I don't think like that. The way I think is temporary defeat. Temporary defeat. I will get over it. I said it could take me hundreds and hundreds of products before I get the one I want. It's like what's his name? The one who did the light bulb took his 10,000 times. He never gave up. And that's what my attitude is. Never give up. It will happen. It might take 5 years. It might take 10 years. It might be tomorrow. But as you said, John, tomorrow may not come. So live for today. Do whatever you can do today, because you might not be here tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? And that's my opinion on it.
Thank you, Adrian. It was Tom Edison, 10,000 failed attempts at light bulbs. And now look at us. We got light, baby. That's nice. Hey, Bill, and then we'll go to Ego. Bill.
Hi, guys. Shannon's just right, and you have no need to apologize, John, about not giving a shit.
I saw it right out of the corner of my eye. I saw that precious little girl. I was like, oops, I'm not sure about
it's something I have to catch my cell phone with, when she's running around behind me when I stub my toe or something. I agree with what Adrian was saying there, and I totally agree with what you've said about Shannon. I would know, well, for quite a long time, I have not given a hoot, as many of you know here, and I really don't. You live for today, because tomorrow's promised to nobody. We don't get the chance to say yay or nay. I came so close to not being in this planet so many times, not through any fault of my own, I hasten, apart from the ones. I sort of have that aspect. I mean, the fact of the matter was, a quickie was, I went to a really horrible scene one night, was there 24 hours, and I came back the next day with a shed full of toys for my daughter, who was 5 at the time. And my wife says, "Why are you buying those?" And I said, "Because I can." And that was the end of that, because I'm here now, because what I had seen, that person's not buying any more toys for anybody. So you have to take these advantages. You have to go for it. You cannot, life isn't a dress rehearsal. Whilst there's lots of us like to believe in varying different themes of life or afterlife or whatever, on this planet. As far as I'm concerned, I'm here the once. And as a guy once described to me, I'd want to be laid gently into a coffin and put in the ground. I want to be coming in there sideways with a handbrake turn and saying, bloody hell, what a ride that was. So yeah, go for it, guys.
Wow. Thank you, Bill. And you are going for it, man. And it's such a pleasure to see. I mean, doesn't it feel good to just be alive and like doing it?
Oh, yeah.
Just do it.
100%, sir.
Yeah.
100%.
Beautiful stuff. I'll tell you another person who completely relates to this topic, I think, at least I don't want to assume, but Ego Obi. Hey, Ego, you've got the floor. Then we'll go to Evelyn and Nicola.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I missed the first 4 minutes or so. So I didn't catch the beginning of what you were saying. However, I kind of get a sense of, I get the gist. I, just like you mentioned, Bill, and, you mentioned about tomorrow isn't guaranteed. The way I live my life, I live today like it's my last. And, when I get phone calls, for example, and people ask me how I'm doing, the running joke in our family is she's living her best life. So, because that's my response. How are you doing? I'm living my best life. And I intentionally live my best life. If that means I have to do something, be something, have something, it's less of the having, because less for me is more, then I do it. So that's the part of, like living today like it's your last. And then I think it makes me more appreciative of what I have, because I can smell the flowers, I can appreciate relationships, I can appreciate friends, I can appreciate just even just the breath in my lungs, because even we talk about today, but even the next minute isn't, right? People drop dead all the time. So in the time that I have, I want to make it count. I want to leave that impression that I've impacted lives in a positive way. I don't expect everybody to like me, but I'm not about, pleasing everyone. And you talked about playing to win. I love that so much, because in everything I do, I want to win. And, I think it was Adrian Garner who mentioned this a few weeks ago. We're not in competition, but we are on a mission with ourselves or something along those lines. And that's how I see it. So somebody asked me a question in an interview on Thursday and said, when you got your diagnosis, for example, were you afraid? Were you afraid? Did you freak out? And I said, no. I know that I'm not exempt from adversity or challenges, but if there's a stat and the statistics is 50-50, I want to be on the other side of it. So if they say 50 survive and 50 don't survive, of course I don't know, I don't own my life, but I would do everything possible to be on the other side of that positive stats. So that's playing to win. And then the last thing on playing to win, I remember when I started my my doctorate, in our cohort, we had, the first cohort had 10 people. My cohort had 10. And when we joined, the program director said to us, only 50% or 40% would make it to the end. And in our first meeting, I actually said, I'll be in that 40%. And he said, how do you know? I said, because I don't play to lose. Actually, those were my words to him. 2 years later, so we started with 20. There's only 3 people left, and I'm one of them. So, I mean, it's less than 40%. So I agree in everything we do. Of course, we have to be cautious, but not overly cautious, because we then get in our way. We allow our inner self-talk rise, our limiting beliefs, step in our way. So regardless of what people say or how we see things, just play to win all the time. If there's any hurdles, kind of kick them aside and just kind of keep going,
Thank you, Ego. Ego, have you ever heard of, congratulations, by the way, on your interview and Ego's book? Everyone's got Ego's book. Get the book.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
But Ego, have you ever heard of a guy named Bill Phillips? He wrote a book called Body for Life.
No, I haven't. No.
Okay.
Bill
So
Phillips.
this was, we're going back 15, 20 years now. We did some events. I remember one event I did with Bill. He was a fitness expert, right? And he wrote Body for Life. And I'm sure you could still get a copy if you're interested, but it was about eating properly and exercise, calisthenics. And he started a company called Experimental and Applied Sciences, which he later sold out. So supplements, protein drinks, and weight loss and whatever. Anyway, I was talking with him because we had him as a guest speaker at an event. And he had this challenge, the Body for Life challenge, and you win a car, right? You just get in shape, and you before and after photos and blah blah blah. Anyway, he said, John, do you know what percentage of people who start the challenge finish it? I said, I don't know. He said, 2. And he had thousands of people. It wasn't like a small sample group. It was like thousands of people. It was a nationwide phenomenon. Again, we're going back some years now, but like 2%. And I thought, you know what? That's interesting, Bill, because it's the same percentage of people who become, we were doing like a home business opportunity that become top producers, 2%. And we're trying to like expand that number, but it's just no matter where you go, it's like that 2%. So you're mentioning 40%, right? Which sounds generous. And I don't know, if that's just to participate or if that's like to get to the highest level of whatever. Obviously, different programs have different tiers of participation or accomplishment. But wow. So there's an idea of playing to win, right? So knowing that you got to be in it to win it. What is my favorite definition of excellence is commitment to completion. Commitment to completion. So if we know we may not be the best in the world at something, but we could still be excellent if we but commit to complete. If we take the 80-20 rule and then compound it, so 20% of 20% is 4. That's 4%, right? So at least be in the top 4%, right? Ego's talking about 40. So that's some interesting math. I'm not sure how it all plays out on a chart. Ego, you're better with spreadsheets than I am. Way better, by the way. But interesting ideas you brought up for me, my friend. Thank you. And it's so good to see you here and full of energy. That's Ego, everybody. And she is awesome. Let's go to Evelyn, then Nicola, then Mark, then Habiba. Hey, Evelyn, Melinda.
Hey, happy Monday, everyone. How are you? So I love what you had to say, John. When you came into the room, Adrian and I had been on a discussion about Amazon and the whole AX10 program and all of that, and how certain things kind of stops us in our tracks because of the challenge and not knowing what to do, and what we were talking about, it was to winging it, to try it, to make mistakes and to get through the hurdles of being stuck, right? So that was the conversation that actually I was talking to Adrian G originally, and Adrian J joined us, and that was the discussion that we were having. But I want you to know that I will have Shannon in my thoughts and prayers, but she's a winner, man. She already is going with the winning attitude, which is so crucial for this or anything in life we go through. If you have the right mindset and she has you there and Trinity, she's going to fly through this. She's going to do great. She's already winning. And, there is so many things in life that will stop us in our tracks. But when you go through a scare like cancer or any other health conditions, you guys, I'm not putting any other health condition to the side. Every single one of them are important. If you have the right attitude, you're fine. You will win. And that's why my oncologist said, Evelyn, I wish that every single one of my patients were like you. Because I walked in there with, an attitude of, I just got to get through this, but I'm fine. I knew I was going to be fine. Was I always like that? No. I knew that I had to get myself out of the scare that I got, the crying that I had for 2 weeks, the depression that I got, and then I went to the complete opposite side because I knew that I was going to be cured. I heard it. I knew it. I felt it. I walked it. and I'm now on the other side. It's been 16 years. So that is one example with cancer. So why are we not going to give it a try? Why? I know what we've said about trying things, but what I mean to say is, why not push through? Why not, move forward? What is the fear? I mean, we're not guaranteed to be here tomorrow. So let's do it. Let's get it done and chop chop, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Evelyn. And you're an inspiration to many as well. So thank you for all you do and all the energy you bring. I see you're getting some love in the chat roll.
Oh,
Yeah, that's Evelyn, everybody. Speaking of good energy, we've got Nicola Black here with us. Hey, Nicola.
Hey, everyone. That was a nice lead on from Evelyn, so thank you for that. Because similar theme, really. I think this year has taught me that you have to live for today and you have to take chances. Because I left my 20-year career in the corporate world back in February, and this is definitely not how I thought this year would pan out when I left. So it's took kind of many different paths, Amazon being one of them, this group being another big part of my life now, which I could have never have planned. And I've found that I guess this group's just given me a lot more, probably self-confidence. I think is probably one big, that inner critic, which I think we probably all got. It just seems to be a lot quieter now. So whereas before I would have talked myself out of doing some of the things which were way out of my comfort zone and I'd never tried them before, now I find I'm talking myself into them. So last week an opportunity came along and I just jumped at it. I just thought, yeah, this wasn't part of the plan, but it felt right. I felt inspired by it. I have no idea where it's going to lead, whether it'll ever make me any money. But I signed up for a course in life coaching and NLP, hypnotherapy, which back in February I would never have had on my plan, but it came along, it felt right. And I just thought, you've just got to take the chances now. And you just can't live with any regrets. So I've signed up for that and we'll see where that goes. But I think that's probably the one big thing that I've took from this situation we've all kind of found ourselves in, is that you really can't plan for the future and you've got to just live for today and do what inspires you today. So that's what I've done. So we'll see where that leads.
Wow. Yeah. And so you're finding, well, we were talking about a balance between prudence and boldness, I suppose, right? So it's not reckless, like live for today recklessly, but at the same time, yeah, like what we're talking about. So you know what, Nicola, thank you. By the way, Nicola runs our group intention meditation thing tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow. So we're back on the calendar for that. I know you had a week off last week, and we're all looking forward to that as well. So thank you for your service, Nicola. And with that, we have several other, who's our next contestant here on the topic is right. We got Mark, then Habiba, then Ivier. What's up, Mark? How you doing, buddy?
John, how you doing?
Good.
I thought I'd just take a moment since we were kind of swinging by cancer. It's in my family too, and actually within all this discussion about taking things at the moment and tackling life. That's been the same case for my family. I mean, I lost both my mother and father to that. It's in the family. I mean, this is not something like that's happened overnight. It wasn't right there in front of my face. This is something that we knew was coming. So I'm not worried in that regard, but it happened. It's happened to me too. I spent a lot of time, as people know, in the sandbox in the southern latitudes. And when you have this kind of Northern European Casper skin, the two things don't necessarily meet right all the time. So I'm sure people have noticed when they're looking at, the speaker view and they see this nice scar down, my forehead. And that scar is actually a result of that. I had basal cell carcinoma. They cut out some of my nose and they do a thing that the Egyptians came up with, and they turn that around. There's a nice little artery that goes up your forehead, and they stuck that in my nose called a forehead flap, and I had to wear that thing, this big little slab on my on my nose for 2 months straight, and then they cut it off, and it's it vascularized into the nose, and it's just perfectly fine now. I'm just amazed at technology and how these guys come up with all this stuff. But that's what I lived with, and I just move on in my life. So these are the things that we all deal with all the time. We just got to keep moving forward, and I'm sure I'll have other little bouts. I've had stuff burned off my body because of these little things, and it's just part of the family. And is it going to stop me? No, it's not going to get in my way. I just got to keep rolling, and don't let it beat me down. And in this group, all I can say, John, is I know guys and they're probably getting tired of this, but I love being here and having connected with you, brother. You're the man. I'm just glad to be the magnet. I'm glad to be on your side. I'm glad to be following you. So thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Glad to be here. And that's magnet once again, everyone, not maggot, magnet. Thank you. That joke never gets old. I saw two hands up. Now all I'm seeing is one, which is Habiba Miller. Hey, Habiba, how you been, girl?
I am wonderful. I really have missed you guys, so I am really, really happy to be here today. I actually have spent the last month in Kentucky with my elderly mother, who's 89 years old, and the topic today, it's always perfect. And then what everybody else has shared, sort of all fits into that. But at 89, the reason I went is because she had been in the hospital and needed some help just to figure out some things at home as far as her diet and those kinds of things. And long story short, it was a time of exactly what we're talking about here, about playing to win. So I'm there, I'm staying at my sister's house. My brother-in-law and sister got back from their travels, and both of them ended up diagnosed with COVID. And my one brother said to me, "Get the hell out of town and get away from your mother." My mother and I both responded with, "Hey, if we were exposed, it's already happened. So we're here to do." I was there. The reason I stayed was to help her get some things done that she really wanted to get done. End of life things and that kind of stuff. But at 89, her approach to this whole thing was exactly this piece of living for today. It's the stuff that Ego was talking about. It's living for today, living my best life. At one point she's got some issues that have continued, and doctors are like, "Well, we need to run more tests to make sure it's not cancer." And my mom's response to that was, "If it's cancer, it'll show up and we'll deal with it." But at 89, she's not likely to go through major stuff. And so it just that energy of playing to win, of not playing to lose, of keeping it positive but in a practical way. Of course, the first thing I did was pack up all my stuff from my sister's house and move to my mom's, and we both ended up testing negative and everything went well. But the energy of it, one is positive, but the other is not taking life too seriously. And that was the one, that was the piece that I really just sort of wanted to throw in here too. It's like my mom's comment was, at my age, everything is ridiculous. How long it takes to get dressed in the morning, everything is ridiculous. So if we take our life too seriously, we're doing ourselves a great disservice, because it's all laughable. So we spent a lot of time laughing in the midst of making end of life arrangements, which not everybody gets, but this group I think gets. And so, it's just this place of living it as best we can in the day that we're in, not knowing how much more is left. And so my own commitment with that, having spent the time really focused on her, is to come home and apply that wholeheartedly to my own life, in ways that I deserve to create my best life. Thank you, Ego, for that sentiment. So anyway, I'm loving you guys. I appreciate everything you all bring to the table, and I'm very happy to be back here with you. So thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so good to see you back, and having dealt with all those things that you were dealing with over the last month. That's very commendable, my friend. So, and we got some work to do, you and I. We got business to handle. So
yes,
I'll tell you, Yeah, I'll tell you somebody else who's getting business done is Ivier Barnabas. Hey, Ivier.
Hi, John. Hello, everyone.
You're in a different, look at you. You're in a different environment.
Gosh.
Oh, we didn't recognize you.
I'm on my phone because I had to run out and get some work done. Work that I had promised. I'd given my word I was going to get done by today. So I thought I better get that done before business hours are over. So I literally was running back with my phone on, and I was plugged in. So I got the gist of what we're talking about today. And I think what I know what I was going to say was there's nothing like a life defining moment to concentrate the mind, whether it's an illness or a close shave with death or a near death experience or a car accident or whatever it is, or loss of a child or a job, or, to just make us realize that every day we have is a gift. And, every day is 24 hours. What do we do with those 24 hours? Do we make somebody's life better? How many people do we touch? If we're not here tomorrow, who's going to miss us? Is anybody going to miss us? How many people are going to miss us? Or are we just occupying space and not making our presence known? So that was all coming up for me as you were talking. And I think, when I had my close calls, and I don't know how many surgeries later, I woke up and there were two things I said to myself. I said, well, I don't know how much time I have, but whatever time I have left, I'm going to make every moment count. And I just went on some accelerator, and it was a personally induced accelerator. I don't know what it was, wake up call for myself. And I just said, I can't do things with the same timeline that the average person has to mess about with. There's just so much I want to do. There's so many people I need to see. There are places I want to be. I just had this, I guess, burning desire to get stuff done. And so my time frame now, if somebody says to me, oh, it takes me a month to get my ass into gear to get this done, I'm like, lucky you if you think you have that amount of time. I don't know how much I have, but I'm not going to dedicate a whole month to getting that done for me. It's got to happen sooner. And they look at me like I'm weird. And I just go, well, if you've walked in my shoes, you kind of like know that you're not promised 20, 40 or whatever it is the average lifespan is. You're not promised any of that. I mean, you can go at 30, at 33, at 50, at 60, at 40. There's no guarantees. And so I just do life now with, if something occurs to me in a 24-hour period to do, no matter what it costs, even if it's uncomfortable, outside of my comfort zone, I do it. I don't put it off because I go, I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to see that person face to face. If it's a phone call I need to make, or an email I need to send, or a gift I need to post, whatever it is, I go, you know what? That person's crossed my mind for a reason. They might need it here and now. By the time it gets to them, it might be just what they needed to hear or what they needed to get. I don't know what it is. But when stuff occurs to me, I just get on with it. I just do it. I just, done. Just tick it off the list and just be intentional, be on purpose, be productive. I think just be present, just get stuff done, be relevant, just don't be a waste of space, and so I think it takes a wake-up call, whatever the life moment is, to concentrate the mind and just get us into that frame of thinking where we say, however long I have, I'm going to make sure that my life counts for something. Everything you've gone through cannot be in vain. It had to have been for a reason, for a purpose, to make at least one person's life that much better. And whoever that person is, go out there, find them, leave your mark on this world. And that's what was coming up for me when you were talking. Thanks,
Thank
John.
you. And you demonstrate that, Ivier. So that's not just theory, right? So you're doing that and you're getting noticed. So
Thank you.
yeah, what a huge validation. Not that you needed external validation, but you're getting it regardless. So good stuff. We got Ali and then we got Khalid. Hey, Ali, how are you?
Hi. All right. How are you all?
We're
yeah,
awesome.
I've just
Now that you're here, we're good.
yeah, Ivier, for me that moment was all this coming to Amazon and COVID, and I feel like I've woken up and really have been sleepwalking through life before this year. I mean, it's just been so incredible. And when I first came to the course and everything and read the books, obviously, that just woke me up enormously. And then the first couple of months, riding on the fire, absolutely. And then I've realized that myself and all the various habits that I've got into over all the years, slipping back in and realizing how important it is to just stay on purpose and to sit down every day with that definiteness of purpose. That is so key, what you keep saying, John. I mean, it's just so key to keep on that every single day. And Adrian said, Adrian G on one of his talks about preparing and getting ready for a race. And I feel like every day I have to do that to keep my mind sharp and keep on it and not slip back into these bad habits. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say, to keep on purpose at all times and not, I mean, it's not relax the mind. And that's where the work is. That's where the work is to keep on top of your mind and keep it sharp and not let those thoughts start relaxing back into bad habits.
Well, do you find that, and I know we could have a whole additional topic on this, do you find that with moments of relaxation, meditation, visualization, stuff like that, that your actions, then the more dynamic stuff that you do is, or have you not practiced that? I don't know, right? So sort of balancing stillness with dynamism, as some teachers have called it. Have you done anything like that?
Yeah, but the meditation I find really helpful because it's focusing. It's focusing in on, it's not about the fact that you can't ever relax for me, but it's keeping that focus. And meditation is a really good way of keeping that connection to your essence and keeping that focus.
Right. Because you mentioned not letting your mind rest. Okay, well, certainly there is. In fact, that takes a lot of practice to actually rest the mind. I think a lot of people truly never have a rest, right? It's constant mind thoughts, thinking, or just the same damn tape playing over and over and over again. So that's why I wanted to hone in on that thing you were just saying, because I was thinking, wow, you're a powerful being, right? And I think a lot of times myself, if I'm just encumbered with all the mind thoughts that just keep repeating themselves based on what I think I already know, based on the past, where's the evolution in that, right? And I hold myself back. So I guess the main thing, and what impressed me so much about my wife's example, was how she's not holding herself back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and nor have you. Here you are out here today. I know you don't come out every single day like Ivier and some of these people that are like, here I am. But here you are, Ali. It's so good to see you. And thank you for sharing. And of course, Ivier, I'm not going to give Ivier a complex now. We love hearing from Ivier every day. Ivier, you jump out here whenever you want. Where was I going with all this? Thank you, Ivier. You're wonderful. Thank you, Ali. We got Khalid. I haven't seen you, Khalid from UK. I haven't seen you in, it's got to be 35,000 years, man. How you been?
I'm back.
Right.
I'm back. I've been all right. Could have been better. Yeah, I think last time I met you was, I think, 21st of July.
Wow.
And since then I kind of lost track. I think you ended up with Blue Sky that week, and I think tragedy happened in my family, so I kind of lost a bit. But then I think like I need to re-energize myself, and I need some energy again. So I'm back here, already loving it. All these good vibes, positive vibes. I'm loving it. 2020 been really difficult. It has been really difficult so far for me. I lost one of my dear auntie through cancer. Then I lost another cousin brother through cancer. Then 22nd of July, where I got a bit lost, I lost my nephew, age of 31, and he was supposed to get married in 2 weeks' time. He died. He had brain tumor, and we only found out after he died because he just held it for that long. And recently I lost well, my wife's granddad, and I was quite close to him, age of 88, which is we expected. But it's been very difficult last couple of months for me. I probably drifted away a bit. Then I'm back again, struggling to struggle. I'm re-energizing myself. But
Good.
yeah, it's been a long time. I missed it, this place. Initially, I thought I'm going back to office, and I finish work UK time 6 o'clock, so I'll be able to see you guys live. But recently we had a COVID case in our office, so it looks like I'm not going back to office until New Year. So I'm here at least till New Year, unless it drags even longer. So yeah,
Right.
good to see you guys all. Loving the environment here. I'm already getting the positive influence.
Thank you, Khalid, and we're so glad to see you. And by the way, we've got a full calendar, so check it out. It's all on the member site, which I know you just got access to, and so yeah, you're welcome on everything. We don't sleep around here, man. We're 24 hours a day, so just show up whatever you want.
I just
Actually,
wanted to share one thing before I go.
yes, sir.
My auntie, she died of cancer. She had cancer for 10 plus years, more than 10 years, but she lived her life giving to others. She basically gave everything she had to others, and she enjoyed her life through the giving to someone. And we realized more the day she died, and now I knew from other people she used to give that they felt more than ever, because when she was there, no one really realized how important or how much loving person she was. Now they're just missing another. She always helped us somehow, if it is financially or mentally or but she lived her life. She was 60 plus years, but she was diagnosed 10 years earlier, and because she was so strong and she survived, she said to me, if I wasn't a strong person, I would have died ages ago. Her nail was rotting down before she died, and she said, my time is finished, because I know it's coming to end. But she said, I enjoyed my life. I had 10 years, more 10 plus years with cancer, and then I enjoyed it. I beat it, and she died peacefully with her husband. That was
Wow.
beautiful.
Well, my condolences, and you're getting some love in the chat roll as well. So sounds like a full life, and one that touched many. So and again, I don't mean to introduce a dark topic today. I guess the question is, as the question always is, what part of this, whatever this is, what part of this can I be responsible for? What can I do with this? Right. So thank you, Khalid, for sharing. So glad you found our group. Invite others, and thank you again. We do have one final hand up, and then we're going to wrap up. I do have a hard stop at the top of the hour. I got a business meeting, and that is Joe. Regina, you have got the floor, my friends, Joe and Regina.
Hey, everybody. Listen, I've been gone for a little while, and I miss you guys. I've been so busy. Speaking of opportunities, I think COVID, although it's been some pretty negative things that have been going on around the world, it also brought some very good things, brought people together. It gave opportunities to people to reinvent each other and to appreciate life and what we have to offer. I think I've always been a pretty positive person. I was very fortunate to come from a family of entrepreneurs. I married into a family of entrepreneurs, and I married my soulmate. So we're strong and we're doing the best we can in our lives. However, during COVID, I learned to reinvent myself, and now I'm so over reinvented, I don't know where to go. But I grabbed every piece of fruit that was there in my basket, and now I'm sitting in my basket waiting to take them all. So one piece of fruit at a time. I know I'll get there. Just don't know where, when, but anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here and for encouraging me. I missed you all so much, and I'll be here as much as I possibly can. And hopefully one day we can have a big reunion and we all actually meet each other, besides for looking online at these faces. You know, all my virtual friends. The kids always say I got 10,000 friends, but I never met any one of them. So I don't want to say that. I want to meet you all, and I want to get to know you, because you're my brothers and sisters, and I love you all. Thank you for your contribution. Amen.
Thank you. All right. Who's got the graphic design capabilities that you can get Regina with a fruit basket on her head, like the
Oh,
Peter lady. That's what we need. There's your new brand. The
see
fruit
my
lady.
logo.
Right. Right.
Bye, everybody. Love you.
Good times. You know, Regina, something you mentioned is, and in fact, I mentioned this to my daughter, and I said, you know, I know people all over the world who I've never met in person, but they all know me. I know them. She's like, really? Yeah. It's like, well, you're on Zoom. She does her classes on Zoom, her school. And so, in fact, some of you have met Trinity. And so we're in a place now where we're doing what we've got with what we've got. Right? We're doing what we can with what we've got. But yeah, I know, I don't suspect, I know that we're going to be getting together in Taos, New Mexico. And we're going to be taking a trip up the mountains, and there's going to be pack llamas, and there's going to be, I don't know, we definitely got to make sure that as many people we can get over here from the UK, we can as well. It's going to be different. I'll tell you that. We got a lot of Brits, and going up that altitude and getting on those little snowy hills. I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ivier and Ali and Habiba, Khalid, and of course, everyone who shared. Bill, Adrian, you guys are family. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up with that. I will be back here, of course, tomorrow. But tonight, and Adrian just reminded me which chapter we're reviewing tonight on Think and Grow Rich, is organized planning. It's one of the biggest chapters. All right. So, and there's some of the biggest ideas that I've gotten out of that book are in that chapter. So we're gonna rip through it tonight. We're gonna do it in 1 hour, okay? Because we could talk about that chapter for a week. But between now and then, of course, at 3 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. UK time, we are going to have Jane and Neil hosting our e-commerce work group. And again, that's in Stuart's stead as he is traveling. And so, in fact, we even have a topic for that. Jane and Neil, did you want to announce that topic? I don't have it in front of me. Where is it?
Oh yeah, John. So it's going to be 2 very short sessions, about 15 minutes each, and then questions after. But certainly keyword search is going to be the first part, and then taking the keywords on into setting up PPC, because we touched on that very, very quickly with Stuart last time, and it was very rushed. So we're going to cover that a bit again. And yeah, the PPC is obviously very important at the moment, coming up to the fourth quarter. We've got to get that right if you can.
Very good. Very good. And I see Evelyn also posted here. You'll find it in our Facebook group. Khalid, make sure you get access to our Facebook group. We're talking about pay-per-click.
I did.
101 and 102. Yes. So keywords and pay-per-click, not pay-per-clip, but pay-per-click. So we're going to be talking about that. Thank you, Jane and Neil, for hosting that. Thank you in advance. Guys, I got to wrap up. I've got a business meeting. I will see you all.